Good morning from Shooting Star Shelter. We're about to start day 2 of our through hike. It is 7:37 in the morning, 64 degrees out. It's going to be a beautiful day, supposedly, I've heard. We'll find out. And we'll bring you the views down the trail.
Following the blue trail down from Shooting Star Shelter, you have a unique opportunity for getting water. You've got a pump that you actually need to prime to be able to get going. Admittedly, the water is only so tasty, but...
So there's this is one of only 2 pumps that I'm aware of on the Long Trail. There's this one at Shooting Star and another one at the Round Top Shelter. So to make it work, you prime. You've got to hope that the people before you filled the jugs. So you prime the pump by pouring water down this pipe. And then you start pumping. And then you get water. So I already got water last night. We didn't need more, so I'm just going to refill the jug here so that there's plenty for the next person to be able to prime the pump when they need to get water. So despite it being 64 degrees this morning, it's definitely very humid, so it feels plenty warm. Grateful for the shelter last night. Didn't have to set up a tent, didn't have to take down a wet tent because we did get rain. A fair amount of rain overnight, a lot of wind. But trail is not too bad this morning so far. Rocks are a little slick because of the rain. Other than that, very pleasant morning. Look, stairs. Thinking of one of our former scouts who we gave the trail name Stairs to. The hiker we stayed with last night, Dreamer, he told us that there were some pretty bad mud holes coming up, and this definitely looks like one of them. Yeah, don't want to put your foot there, that's for sure.
Hey, I made it to the island.
Good job. So this is the trail we've been coming up. Almost the climb to Doll Peak. Lots and lots of rocks. Fairly steep. There's a good view of what we've been over so far. Not sure how much of that was today, to be terribly honest, but definitely since we started yesterday. Finally reached the summit of Doll Peak. Now making our way down to Lower Woodard Shelter. We'll have lunch and take a rest before we climb J Peak. Our first views of J Peak. Be going up after that, after lunch, but right now, as you might have heard Tup say, we're going down to get to Lower Woodard for our lunch break. Arriving at Lower Woodard Shelter, and time for lunch break. It's about 12:15, and some rest before we try and tackle, well, don't have much choice, totally tackle J Peak. Just finished lunch at Laura Woodard Shelter. This is where last year when I tried to through hike, I decided that my knee wasn't going to go any further. I think we're going to go further. We're going further.
Up and over Jay.
Up and over Jay. We'll bring the views from the top. This little divot over here is where we spent the night in a thunderstorm at side of Laura Woodard Shelter on our last night of our northbound through hike in 2021. Much more pleasant day today, and we are not spending the night. We are heading southbound to climb up over J Peak. So far the trail heading south out of Laura Woodard is not nearly as overgrown, thankfully, as it was between Laura Woodard and Shooting Star. It was made me think of Guns N' Roses' song Welcome to the Jungle, because we felt like we were bushwhacking in places. So other than the big climb that we're about to go up, at least we're not fighting with the brush, still fighting with the mud, so that's going to be a constant, I think. We're continuing our climb up J Peak. And as you can see, there's a lot more climb to go. And just like that, we're back in the woods off the ski trail. It was a very short stretch on a ski trail, which in the hot sun today, I am okay with. Back in the woods in the shade.
Southbound on the
North side of JP. Say it's a steep climb. It's a minor understatement. But we're starting to get some views on the way up. Just about to pop out on a ski trail just below the summit of J Peak. It has been a long, slow climb. But the views are going to definitely be worth it. We were just there, well, not counting our lunch break, just a couple hours ago. It's Stall Peak.
So part of the trail ascends the sides of the ski slope. Unfortunately, you're met with some views out there. A little lazy today, a little warm.
Mount Mansfield in the distance. We're going to be walking there. About 8 or 9 days, I believe, we'll be there. Can't quite make out Camel's Hump in the haze, but oh yeah, we got all these other mountains down here in the way first.
First, we gotta get past the turkey vultures that are circling in the middle there.
They're waiting for us to kick over. Not yet. So J Peak is an alpine area with fragile grasses that grow. So your tip for today, when you're in an alpine area, is do the rock walk. The trail stays on the rocks. As you can see the blazes, there's Tupt. So you gotta stay on the rocks. And then enjoy the views. We've been hanging around up here for a while, trying to decide what we're gonna do. We might find a spot on a ski trail and just set up the tent, or we'll continue on down to J Camp like we'd originally planned. Making our way down the ski slope and came to a ramp and a set of stairs. They're kind of...
Oh no, they're definitely a set of stairs. They were just built at just the right angle to meet the need.
Yeah, what Tup said. Making our way down from J Peak towards J Camp. Trails finally beginning to look like a trail down here a little bit.
Lots of rocks before that.
Lots of rocks for sure. I'm trying to decide if we'll hop out onto a slope and camp or make it to the camp, J Camp. But either way,
Time will tell.
interesting tree here along the trail and a little bit of a view. We've reached the north entrance to J Camp, which goes down that way, and it's a very steep trail. We've gone down that way once before, and since I want to stay on the Long Trail as much as possible, we're going to head down to the south entrance further down the trail, and it's a much easier trail into camp. We have reached the south entrance to J Camp. Kind of guessing that there's probably some folks camped in here, so probably won't be taking any video at camp, but we'll see. Hiked over 7 miles today, 7.7 I think it was, but very hard terrain and big climbs and big downs.